All right, everybody. It is Wednesday night, and we are going to play some Tetris online. Now, I'm already looking on Dreamcast now, and it appears as though we have quite a few players. Well, 2 right now. So, let's start it up. Okay. Put on some monitoring headphones just to make sure everything is leveled properly. So I haven't played this game since, I think it was July online. When I did play it originally, I had a burned copy, and I think I mentioned in the video that I did that there was some audio issues, mostly like, where's the sound, where's the music? That's kind of what Tetris is known for. But I did find out that it was probably because of the copy that I had that the audio had been stripped. So I do have a legit copy, as you can see here, and I gave it a test run before I started it up, and it appears everything is working well. So let's load the next Tetris. So it'll be kind of nice in the next few months. I'm going to have a little bit more time for some gaming. The summer was pretty busy, just doing a lot of work, more work than I'm used to. Not a bad thing by any means. Okay, scroll to online menu. Perfect. I did get a couple of really cool pickups though recently. Maybe I'll show you while it's connecting. So, finally got a copy of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've really been looking for one at a decent price. Mars Matrix, legit copy, and in mint condition too. And the big one I have here is the Kickstarter limited edition of Pierre Solaire. So I'm not going to unbox that. Just know it's complete, and I'm sure that you've seen it all before. Here's the strategy guide that came with it too, so that's pretty cool. All right, we're in the lobby. Connection successful. And here we are, UGB. So let's see who is waiting to play a game. Okay, let's refresh. Cool. So we've got PC Wizard. We've got Sign, who's a newbie, I guess. And I hope that they're playing. Oh, it looks like we got Shoebot. I don't know what that is. Let's just double check and make sure that tonight is the night that we all should be playing. So, schedule, and there we go, October 5th, the next Tetris, 10 o'clock, so it's 10:30 now. Hopefully, we'll see some people. In the meantime, do I want to play Shoebot? I guess that's just a bot player. It's not responding. Okay, not a problem. Previous menu. No. Okay, we're just kind of puttering around here to see if it'll refresh our player list. And it appears as though we still just have a bot. So PC Wizard is playing on Wi-Fi. I don't know if anybody's seen that video that he did, but it's pretty cool. It just shows you how to hook up your Dream Pi so that it connects Wi-Fi. You don't have to worry about an Ethernet cable. I still prefer the Ethernet cable just because it's a bit more stable, but to each their own, I suppose. Okay, so let's go to Dreamcast Live, and let's just go to the forum and see what people are saying. So it looks like nobody is mentioning anything about the game tonight. Okay. Let's just go right to the last page here. September 29th. Well, you know what? Maybe I should just join the forum. I think that would kind of help out a little bit. Ugly Goblin Boy. Register. I agree to the terms. Oops. What are we doing here? Okay, so let's try that again. Register. I agree to the terms. Okay, username. Perfect. I think I might have to edit this video to sort of protect some of my personal info. Okay, success. So I am logged in, and now I'm just going to see if I can get anybody's attention here. Okay, so I just put out a little information. And hopefully somebody gets back to me. So this music's pretty hoppin'. Just listen to this for a while, why not? Well, it's too bad that we can't just play a bot for a little while, but... Okay, maybe to save everybody a bit of boredom, we are just going to cut back when somebody actually comes back into the lobby. So we'll see you in a second. Okay guys, hey, we're back. And it appears as though I found a couple of players. And I have issued a challenge to sign. Cool. Let's see what happens. Okay, getting ready to play. So right now it's synchronizing the game. I guess it just has to compensate for the 56K modem. One interesting thing about this game is that it won't play over VGA, only S-Video, so you have to use Codebreaker in order to get it running properly. So get ready to play, synchronizing. I hope there's not a lag issue. Let's see if PC Wizard's still on. Okay. And it's still synchronizing. I don't recall it taking this long before. Ah, okay. Unable to synchronize with the opponent. Interesting. Online lobby. I wonder if my opponent gave me the boot. Interesting. It's too bad there's no chat feature. Well, let's see what happens is if I challenge PC Wizard. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, is it going to synchronize this time? I hope so. Let's just go back to Dreamcast Talk forums and see if... No, nobody's approved my comment yet. That's okay. I suspect that this is not going to work. Unable to synchronize with opponent. Online lobby. Okay, well, let's see what happens if I wait in the lobby and somebody tries... Oh, everybody's gone. I'll have to check. So PC Wizard actually got back to me on the forum, which is cool. Okay, let's see what happens if I accept an invite. So PC Wizard is saying that I have port forwarding or DMZ turned off. Oh, cool. Okay, so I can accept a challenge. I just can't start a challenge. All right, here we go. Oh, damn. Okay, so the object of this game is I want to get rid of as many blocks as possible, obviously, but I also need to do it in a way. Ah, shit. Okay. What I was trying to say, whoa, was I've got to do it in a way. Okay, let's try and get some gray guys down. Whoa. I win. Oh no, PC Wizard wins. Okay, I'm sucking so far. Okay, but we will win a game. Okay, this looks like it might. Oh, he got them all. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's blow this chat up again. There we go, that's a bit better. Jesus, PC Wizard is a sniper. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we go. So all we want to do is complete lines. We don't really necessarily have to worry about color. That's where I'm losing it. I'm trying to line up colors, and all I want to do is line up lines. So I just want to fill in the holes. Knowing that now, I am going to okay, this dude does not have a chance now. My claim to fame is that I never ever said I was good at video games, but I can persevere. Yeah. No! Okay. Wow, that was close. Okay. The feel of this game is just a little bit off. It's kind of hard to describe. The control is definitely not as tight as even the Nintendo version. That being said, it's... Stella found his groove. Okay, here we go. See, my instinct was to line up the colors, and that was just driving me nuts, because I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to line up all these colors? But now that I know that it's just a matter of filling in the blanks, this game is going to become infinitely easier. Okay, I think I kind of fucked up there. Damn. Okay. No big deal. Okay, can we drop that in there? Perfect. Drop this guy in here. Okay, I desperately need one of those, like, L-shaped blocks. Yeah, this is the one right here. Bam! Suck it down. Okay. Fuck. Okay, there we go. There we go. God damn. Okay. Eat this, PC Wizard. Eat this, PC Wizard. Okay, here's the big one. Yeah, suck on that. Okay. I'm gonna regret that move. That's the thing with Tetris, you always make these moves where you're like, you gotta be fucking, why would you fucking do that? There we go. I win. Look at that. 3 greens. Okay, cool. Here we go. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but the music in this game is obviously quite a bit different from any other versions of Tetris that I've played. But man, it's funny because this game, I believe, came out in 2000 at some time, but it just reeks of 90s. Whatever, I dig the 90s. Not in some sort of pretentious hipster way, just in a way where it's like, I grew up in the 90s. It was my formative years. Wasn't all bad. Okay, bang. Drop that there. Drop that there. Okay, now that I think I've got the swing of things, this is going to be much easier to play. So yeah, it's been a really busy August. Just all sorts of personal crap I won't bother you with, but I haven't really done much gaming at all, to be quite honest. One of the fun things about parenthood, I guess, you don't really have a lot of free time, but I've also just been busy with other hobbies as well. That being said, I've been really trying to plug away at a few other, like, I really shouldn't have done this because I knew I was going to get wrapped up into it, but I decided to start I've never played Fallout New Vegas, and big fan of Fallout 3, despite its faults, and I started up Fallout New Vegas, and I was just like, no, I gotta turn this off. This is just going to suck up my entire life for the next, I don't know, basically until I decide to let it stop. So I didn't get too far in Fallout New Vegas, despite the fact that I love the Fallout games. Yeah, at the buzzer. So yeah, I kind of turned that off. I did manage to beat the, it was just one of those things where I was sitting around and I was playing Fallout 3 and I was like, I should probably beat the main campaign. So that's basically what I did. I just spent like, I don't know, an hour or two and beat the main campaign. I was like, okay, good. Fallout 3's done. I can finally retire that game. I don't know how many hours I put in that, just kind of touring around the wasteland. It's so much fun, but you just get nothing done. Just all these fucking side quests and stuff. Oh, it's great though. In terms of Dreamcast stuff, I got a couple of really cool games recently. A lot of indies, actually. Despite those ones that I showed earlier, I know that Pierre Solaire is obviously an indie, but I also got like Wind and Water Puzzle Battlers, which maybe I'll do a short video of how to play that. It's another puzzle game, and it's just a ton of fun to play. Fuck. Really simple, no online functions, but that's okay. And yeah, it's just really cool to have like a pick up and play game once in a while. Really been putting a lot of time on my 3DS. I've found all sorts of games recently in the wild for 3DS. I guess it's just become that stage of its lifespan where people are starting to, give up their old 3DS games to thrift stores and things like that. So, never a huge Pokemon fan. I downloaded the Pokemon Go app, and there was a Pokemon at the end of my street. I was just like, you know what? I got other shit to do. I'm not going to the end of the street to catch this Pokemon. So, that said, I did manage to find a copy of Pokemon Y for $4. Actually, now that I think of it, I found another, I have a 3DS XL, and I managed to find a just standard version 3DS for $9 out in the wild. There's nothing wrong with it. The charging port was a little bit beat up on it, but everything works fine on it. Didn't really need it, but I thought for that price, I'm not going to just let it slide. I don't plan on flipping it. I try not to do that if I don't have to, but it's kind of nice to have. I actually prefer the feel of the standard 3DS. Mostly because I always was a big fan of the Nintendo DS Lite. I thought that was just a perfect console. It was a perfect size. The games were great on it. Some of them look kind of shitty now on a 3DS XL, but the ports that you could play on that game I thought were just amazing. I know not a lot of people like Final Fantasy IV on the 3DS, or the DS I should say, but I thought that game was great. Played a lot of Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy II when I grew up anyways, for the Super Nintendo, and I kind of blasted through that. But when you try to play it on and it looked, like I said, it looked great on the DS, but as soon as I tried to play it on the 3DS XL, it just looked like dog shit. Just so pixelated. Not unplayable by any means, but you really start to appreciate after a while everything that the 3DS can do. And, you just can't go back. A lot of these game systems I come to really late, and since I don't typically grow up with them when they're evolving, I don't appreciate them. I just appreciate them more when they come out. I didn't get into the DS until I think about maybe 3 years ago. And again, I just kind of found one at a thrift store for a couple bucks, and I was like, oh, this game system's pretty cool. And I started looking into the games. I was like, wow, why did I not get into this in the past? Oh no. And what other games did I pick up recently for that system? I picked up the Plants vs. Zombies, which is a terrible, terrible port of the Flash game for your phone. It's hard to believe that version is superior, but it is in so many ways. You only get one campaign on the DS version, and just the movements of it are not fluid. I'm surprised, to be quite honest. I thought there would be much more fluidity to the animations, but yeah, they just look terrible. That being said, I did put a couple hours into it and just beat the main campaign to say I did. So I actually bought a copy of Angry Birds too, because I found it for like $2 or $3, and I thought, okay, I'll play this. Never an Angry Birds fan. And then I started to realize, why do I have all these shitty like cell phone games on my DS and 3DS? Why don't I buy real games? So I got Tales of the Abyss, which is a lot of fun. And I think I might actually pick up Dragon Quest VII. That just got released recently, and I think, I never played it when it came out, but yeah, it's getting a lot of... See, it's getting a lot of mixed reviews, and I think part of it is that the people reviewing it maybe didn't grow up with those old school 2D RPGs, and that's fine, but for a guy like me, that's how I cut my teeth. I don't... Anything that's come out since then is just kind of, there's good games, there's bad games, but, it just seems like it's a derivative of the 2D RPG. So, I can easily go back to it and really not have it impact me one way or the other. So that kind of leads me towards Pierre Solaire. Like, what am I going to do with that game? That game looks like it's going to eat up a bunch of time. But I popped it in quickly, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. I think it got a bit of mediocre reviews because it is a port to was it a Mega Drive game, I think? I know it got ported to a bunch of different consoles as well. But, yeah, I could easily see myself burning a lot of time on that game. If anybody out there has played that game and could figure out the feature, now in the display settings, allegedly you can put it out to 16:9. So I have a VGA setup in my basement that goes to an Atlona HD 500 upscaler, and I don't see why I wouldn't be able to output 16:9, but for some reason it keeps kicking me back to the main menu every time I try. So that's a bit frustrating. It would be nice to play in 16:9. That being said, I've got my upscaler set to just a proper 4:3. Even though the resolution in the Dreamcast is kind of weird. It's not like a 480 by 640. It's something like... Oh, shit. I can't believe I lost 3. Lost all 3. I really hope I didn't kick Sign out. He was a new player too. I really want to encourage new people to join in. So yeah, anyways, if anybody knows how to do that or can tell me what I'm doing wrong, that would be great. Also got an update lately from the Slave team. Again, just the same old nonsense, that they're working on the game and it'll be out sometime in the near future, blah, 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 blah. If it comes out, great. But my enthusiasm for that game has totally dropped. There's actually been some hype recently in the Dreamcast junkyard. Not some hype, but some feathers have been rustled. There was a cool article by Ross about Henshin Engine. And anybody that doesn't know that, it's apparently a web anime that only ran 2 issues, if you want to call it that. Apparently it was like 39 pages in total. But anyways, I could care less. Don't plan on reading it. But I'm always a sucker for these Kickstarters, and I was totally going to just go buy it unseen because I was like, hey, new Dreamcast game, gotta get it. But to get it, the Dreamcast port of that game, what you had to do was the game was only going to be released on TurboGrafx 16, and it was going to be released as a stretch goal option if the main campaign was reached. So there was never any kind of true port for Dreamcast plan, and more than likely what would have just happened is they would have ran probably some emulator for it to boot to, and then what would have happened was it would boot the game. So it would basically be running like a TurboGrafx 16 emulator. Not a true Dreamcast game. I'm sure it would have ran fine. I'm sure it would be pretty fine. But the game in and of itself, like, it looks like, something that would have been released on NES. It might be hypocritical of me to say it, but because I just went on about 2D RPGs and how I grew up on them, how much I like them. But man, that genre has been done to death. And like, where do you go from there? It looks like it's offering nothing new. It looks pretty standard, pretty average. And a lot of people got kind of bent out of shape about that article for some reason. And I think you should read into it like, okay, yeah, you should support the community and you should support a lot of indie devs. That's true. But it doesn't mean you have to. Like, you're not obligated in any way to give these people your money. If you want to, that's great. Hey, if this webcomic anime deal is your thing, by all means, enjoy. But just because a new game comes out does not mean you should shell. I think they were looking for like $40 US plus, I think it was like to Canada, it was going to cost about $15 shipping, which I don't quite understand how they came up with that number, but whatever. Not going to order it anyways. So I was kind of game to do it at first because I'm always a sucker at these Kickstarters. One day I'll show everybody my Cheetahman 2 Kickstarter package that I got. Oh man, I can't believe I got roped into that garbage. So it was just what I needed to hear to kind of back away and not support it. I'm still a slacker backer on the Elysian Shadows because I don't know, I have a fondness for that team. It seems like they got a lot of shit going on in the back end, but they seem to own it, and they're not trying to hide the fact that kind of things are not going as planned, so I can appreciate that. And it sounds like when that game gets released, it's going to be pretty wild. Another game that just got announced recently, actually, that looks really, really cool is called In the Line of Fire. So a lot of people have been seeing these screenshots of like some clowns robbing a bank, and not knowing what it was about, and finally, I guess, a name was revealed in the Line of Fire, and that game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Apparently, it's being rendered on an engine that's brand new to the Dreamcast, like a new sort of 3D engine, not a Quake engine, not an Unreal engine, nothing like that, but a brand new engine altogether. And that could open up tons of opportunities if they were to license that engine to other third-party developers. Who knows what can come out, because the Dreamcast handles 3D pretty well. Anybody that's played Quake can attest to that. So I'm confident that whatever they have is going to run smooth. But the game they're releasing actually looks really cool too, which is, I think we set the bar a bit standard for indies. I think we set the bar a bit low for indies. Like, if it's released at all, we're happy. If it's playable, we're happy. But we never expect anything to kind of like blow our minds. I can't remember the last indie that's really jumped out and been like, holy shit, I can't believe this is an indie. Most indies feel like indies, unfortunately. Yes. Okay. Continue. Yeah, sure, why not, PC Wizard? I will play all day. How many people are on, by the way? It's just us two. Cool. But yeah, this game, In the Line of Fire, do a Google search. Look it up. It looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited for that. I'll totally support that. And, I know nothing about Slave. To be honest, the game looks cool, which is why I'm not pulling out of my support for that game. If it gets released, I'm basically gambling at this point. I don't know if it's ever going to come out. They do send updates every once in a while, which is encouraging. But, they've done no promo, or they haven't interacted with the Dreamcast community at all, which is really disappointing because I think it's just going to hurt their sales in the end. They have, the fans that have put out money for this game or pre-ordered it, they should probably just let them know what's going on with their money. Awesome. I think they owe them at least that much. Which again is kind of why I have a fondness for Elysian Shadows. They let you know that things are fucked up and that they got their own issues to contend with. Yeah. Okay. I had to match colors. At first, it was driving me mad. Cool. So yeah, what was I saying about Elysian Shadows? Yeah, like, I mean, that game looks like it's going to be pretty cool when it comes out. They're doing, it's sort of a 2D RPG, but they're doing some weird kind of tricks to utilize some of I guess the rendering tools that they've developed that are specific for the Dreamcast. I guess they're doing some special shadowing techniques to give it kind of like a 3D feel, but you can pop back to 2D if you want. So I don't know, that sounds kind of interesting, kind of gimmicky, but kind of interesting. I guess going back to 3DS, just sort of similar. Like, I never play 3DS games in 3D. I could care less. Actually, I shouldn't say I care less. Like, some games look cool in 3D, but I just find it... on the 3DS XL, yes, certainly the 3DS is better, but I do just find it a little bit gimmicky. It's never strained my eyes. I've never had any issues like that, but I'm just as good as playing the regular 2D version. Kind of a waste, I guess, for the 3DS, but the hardware on it is what makes that system. I think a lot of people prefer the PSP or the Vita, but you know, I'm a PlayStation guy. Don't get me wrong. I've got tons of PlayStation stuff. I love my PS3. Fuck. Still haven't got a PS4 yet, or an Xbox. I've never had an Xbox, actually, or a new Wii yet. I think I'm going to wait for the Nintendo NX, see what the specs are on that before I make a decision on a next-gen console, but I have a feeling, you know, I'm using the PS3 right now, and, you know, above beyond playing the games, which I still love, some of them anyways. There's a lot of shit on the PS3, but I think that goes for all systems. Just games I don't find fun. A lot of people seem to like them, but I just can't get into them. Like those Assassin's Creed games, like I bought, I think, the first 3 games for a couple bucks at GameStop because they were on for, I think, $4 or something like that. And I don't know, they just seem so repetitive and so boring. I guess that movie's coming out soon too, which, you know, I have no allegiance to whatsoever. But yeah, my PS3 has certainly put on its miles as a media server. I've been using that for Netflix and YouTube and streaming things from my computer for, geez, like, when did I get my PS3? 2009, so quite a long time. And actually, I've switched it out a few times. I've found a few at pawn shops and thrift stores for, you know, $30, $40. And the laser that reads the DVDs in the PS3, that dies over time. So I still collect DVDs. I still have quite a few different DVD titles, mostly stuff that you can't find anywhere else, like stuff that never shows up on Netflix, kind of cult and genre-ish. Nothing Hollywood. Don't need to have that. That will be available everywhere till the end of time, now that streaming's become the norm. But yeah, I just noticed that over time, my DVDs would stop reading. So I kind of have to do like a hermit crab technique. I'll buy a new PS3, test the DVD drive, see if it works, and if it works, I'll take out the hard drive. I'll back everything up on a flash key first, and then I'll oh no, I'm gonna lose. And then I'll switch it over, and oh no, now we're in the negative time. And I'll just do that until it dies again, and then I'll like sell the other one for pretty much whatever I paid for it. I don't really try to hustle people too much when I'm selling video games. But I have a feeling, I've just noticed that the PS3 on the PSN is starting to slow down, and, you know, none of my friends play PS3 anymore, and I think its days are numbered. There's going to be a time where they just pull the plug, just like they did with PS2. You know, PS2 is an extremely popular system, but they didn't support it forever. And, you know, as much as I didn't really want to think about this day coming, I just have this, oh God, I just have a feeling that... Oh, fuck. I just have a feeling they're going to pull the plug on the PS3 probably in the next year, maybe 2, but probably in the next year, I think. And what that will mean is that synchronizing with remote player, connecting to things like Netflix is not going to happen anymore. Oh, I think PC Wizard might be out. Because it won't be able to connect to the PSN, and if it won't be able to connect to the PSN, I guess unless you jailbreak it or something, it's not going to be able to get out in the world and connect to these apps. And, you know, I just got to make sure I got all my DLC downloaded all the time, and I'm really keeping my finger on the button. I don't want to have to jailbreak that machine, but it'll probably be the only option. Well, one thing I'm surprised is nobody's really made third-party servers for the PS2, because there's a couple of really cool games on the PS2, and I'd really like to get back online. I know Final Fantasy XI just went offline like maybe 6 months ago, which blows my mind that it was still online. I wish I knew that. I had no clue Final Fantasy XI was still online at the time. I had a copy, and I even have my PS2 hooked up to the internet just in the event something happens. You know, somebody comes up with something in one of the forums and is like, hey, here's the way to connect your PS2 back to the internet, and here's the way to get back to gaming online. But yeah, kind of missed out on that. I was a little bit disappointed because I've actually never done any online gaming on the PS2. I was certainly around during that time, but I was out of gaming, at least modern gaming. I was still collecting a lot of Nintendo stuff. But that was because it was pennies, and I was in college, I had no money, and it was fun. I still liked those games. There was no nostalgia back then. You know, well, maybe a little bit, but not like now, not where it's become sort of a market. It was just you either enjoyed that stuff or you didn't. And if you could find somebody else that enjoyed it, great, but it was few and far between. Not as many people I knew were gaming back then, and certainly nobody was interested in collecting old Nintendo games. And, you know, then we all know what happened. And actually, I'm thinking about downsizing my Nintendo collection quite a bit, because I have a flash drive which works perfect for most games. I use the retro USB NES Power Pack. I also have the SNES Power Pack, and that's basically all I need. Some games I guess I can keep, but there's so much garbage on the Nintendo. It's not as... Yeah, it's a landmark system because of its diversity, but I think people hype it up way too much. There are certainly better systems out there. It's funny because I never really grew up on Sega. I remember I had a friend back in grade school who had a Sega, and I thought it was really cool, but I never had one, and I don't think he ever knew anybody else that had one that he could switch games with. So, oh shit. Oh fuck. So I don't know, kind of back in the day it must have been sort of hard for him to kind of find somebody to partner up with. Like, we'd go to his place and we'd play like a lot of Golden Axe and things like that, and that was always a lot of fun. But yeah, anyways, lately I've just been realizing, holy shit, like even the Genesis has a ton of cool titles. Like, fuck, why was I sticking with Nintendo for so long? Even the Super Nintendo, like Super Nintendo has a couple of good titles, but it also has a lot of shit titles. And I'm looking at my Super Nintendo collection, I think I only have about 20 games now. I've sold off a lot of it, and they're the 20 good games, in my opinion, for the system. I have no desire to really buy any other ones. If I run into like an Earthbound for $3 at a thrift store, yeah, I'll get it. Is that going to happen? Probably not. but I'm not making any concerted effort to, oh, I'm going to smoke you, PC Wizard. Eat that. Bang. I'm not making any concerted effort to go out and spend, $100, $200, $300 on some game. That being said, I've spent a little bit more than I'd like to admit on Dreamcast stuff lately. I think I'm up to about 105 games now. I'll have to check my collection. I'm starting off with most of the expensive titles. I've got a bit of money saved up in my PayPal account now. I managed to sell a few things recently and made quite a bit of cash, actually, and I think I'm gonna use that to buy. I was thinking about saving up to buy FrameMeister. I don't necessarily think I need one. I'm pretty happy with my setup now, and it's not really going to improve the composite signal of things like your Nintendo or Atari or Super Nintendo. I know you can do certain mods to improve the image quality. I don't know if there's something on my television. I have like an old Panasonic Viera, but I find the picture quality is fine. And actually, I run it through this hilarious. Maybe I'll take a picture someday or show people. It's like a really old school JVC video converter, and it can enhance the picture and make it look sharper and stuff like that, and change the gamma on it. And it's really cool old school tech, but it makes the picture look great. And I don't see a need to upscale. I also have my emulator system too. I have a recall box set up, which is kind of nice. I don't play it. It's kind of gimmicky. I certainly don't play it as much as I probably should, because really that thing would just take care of all my gaming issues. But I like my carts, I like my discs, I like my peripherals. Speaking of peripherals, you will not believe what I have coming my way. So, I've always been curious about this game, and I know that the official version costs a little bit of money. But I got lucky on an eBay auction, and I got it for a decent price, and I didn't go into the red because I used all of my PayPal money. Nice. But I got a boxed, pretty minty version of Samba de Amigos. I'm really excited to play that game. So in case you don't know what that game is, Samba de Amigos is a rhythm game, and Dreamcast actually created a proprietary peripheral of Dreamcast maracas. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I should probably get a Dreamcast dance pad at some point, but I don't really know too many games I'd use it for. I have a copy of Space Channel 5, and I haven't played it. I was never really huge into rhythm games, but they can be fun sometimes. And, as you get older, I do my best to keep in contact with people that have similar interests, but the reality is it gets increasingly more difficult to find people that want to spend time gaming. And generally when you do, they're not really that interested in playing things like rhythm games. So, if you can find somebody, you got to keep them happy and play what they're comfortable with. Okay, fuck, we gotta get rid of some blocks there, guys. Bang. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Fuck. Okay, gotta concentrate, Mr. Nash. So yeah, as soon as I get that set, I think I'm gonna show people what it's all about. Actually, maybe if anybody's made it this far in this video, why don't you leave a comment? Do you want to see me demonstrate some of these peripherals that Sega has, or just any system really? Like, I've got a couple of cool ones. I got the racing wheel. which isn't terribly hard to find or unique in any way, but there are a couple of cool games with it. I have the fishing controller. That's a ton of fun. Sega Bass Fishing 1, I'm not a huge fan of. Sega Bass Fishing 2 is so much fun to play with the fishing controller. If you can find it for a reasonable price, I managed to find it for an extremely reasonable price in a lot. I highly suggest picking up. You'll be blown away with it. It has some sort of gyroscope technology in it, so you can actually flick the fishing rod and it will cast the reel and stuff like that, and you can jerk it if you've got a fish in and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's really intuitive. Man, I am not doing well this round. Fuck off. God damn it. I think I'm gonna actually... Oh, man. Okay. Convolution. You can make it out of this. Oh, shit. Maybe I can't. Oh, fuck. Okay. Does that do anything? Oh, I topped out. I think we were both kind of racing for the top out. I also have this really cool connector too that will convert PlayStation controllers into a... Awesome. Okay, I think PC Wizard's out. Cool, man. Good game. You out. No problem, amigo. Later. Okay, 4x4 evolution. Speaking of steering wheel. Okay, let's go back to the lobby. See who's there. Probably nobody, but you never know. Yeah, so if you want, I will totally demonstrate all of the peripherals I can find for the Dreamcast. There's all sorts of crazy stuff out there for sure. All right, looks like everybody is out, so I'm gonna log off as well. That was a lot of fun. I love Tetris. As you can see, as soon as you get into the kind of rhythm of things, it's so much... Well, it's Tetris. I don't have to explain it. It's a ton of fun. So I am going to log off now, disconnect, and hopefully by Friday I will be playing Quake again. I'm going to try it with a keyboard and mouse. I'm not a big fan of Quake. I kind of suck at it, but I'm going to give it a try. So until then, everybody have a great Thursday, Friday, and I will probably see you either in Quake or in the PSO lobby. So take care.